What's up, guys? This is the first episode of my journey on healing back from a patellar tendon repair. I've never had surgery ever in my life, so I'm not quite sure where to start with all this. But I got my breakfast, got my coffee, and I decided I wanted to make a video. I mean, where do we even start, right? I guess we'll start where it all happened. I was playing volleyball, just a simple game of volleyball, not even a real game, right? Just playing around with the kids, some folks around the park, local park near here. It was sand with the net, and yeah, we're just passing the volleyball around. There was one shot that was coming my way. It was getting set up by one of my teammates, and it was for a spike. So, me being the person I am, I'm definitely going to spike that ball when it comes my way. I think I had like a few successful spikes beforehand, so easy peasy, right? I wasn't thinking too much of it. As I was going up for the ball, hit the ball. When I came back down, my legs came down this way, and my left leg planted wrong and basically buckled. From there, I fell back to the ground on my butt, and next thing I know, I realized that I was in pain and that my left kneecap on my left leg was literally on the side of my leg. I panicked. First thing I did was, I looked at it and I thought to myself, I cannot look this way at all. So I started pushing it back together. I tried to push the kneecap back to the center as I was trying to slowly bend my knee at the same time, and then eventually it got back to the center. And I was literally just sitting on the ground, both legs straight. You could just tell my left leg was beginning to swell up, and I thought I was good though. I was like, okay, just dislocate it for a second, buckle for a bit. Maybe I just need to ice it up, stay off for a few weeks, and I'll be good. And honestly, I thought I would be able to just walk off the sandbox, maybe like hobble off. But when I began to try to lift my leg up, I'm sure you guys know this as well when you guys have the same injury. That lower part of my leg was not moving at all. And I started to feel around on my knee, and right underneath my patella, which is the kneecap, I was pressing against it, seeing if it was swelling, but it was very squishy. At the time, I didn't know what was going on. Hey, that doesn't feel right. Maybe we need to call for some help. So luckily, the people that we were playing with, they already called. The ambulance came out. I'm just sitting there, not knowing what to expect, praying that obviously no surgery needs to be done. So the fire department came out first, and then the people from the ambulance came out afterwards, and they pulled me out on the stretcher at the park, rolled my ass all the way up to the ambulance, and I was on my way to the ER by then. I wasn't in any kind of major pain unless I moved my legs, so I kept my legs stationary the whole entire time. By this time, I was just praying that I was okay, that it's nothing serious. And mind you this, I do not have insurance, health insurance at the time, so we'll get into that a little later. But yeah, on my way to the ER, and got pulled through. They got my names, got my vitals, and I was just waiting for a doctor to come out and check me out. And I think some residency came out, some nurses. They came and checked, and they felt around on my leg, and they said, yeah, I tore my tendon. My patellar tendon, because if you could feel where the part underneath your kneecap, it wasn't firm anymore. Like on my right leg right here, you can feel the firmness. You can feel the tendon right there, like a little flat. On this leg, completely gone. I'm not sure it was 100% completely ruptured, but it was completely gone. So they said they're gonna have to get some x-rays, and which we did. And yeah, I was just waiting for the doctor to come by. Everyone was really nice at the hospital, man. Shout out to them, getting me in and actually trying to figure out what was going on. I was being quiet most of the time because honestly, I thought I was really just talking to my knee, just thinking that, hey, motherfucker, you need to get yourself together. Like, we're not going out like this, you know. Well, lo and behold, the ortho doctor came by, and first thing I said to her was, "Tell me something good, doc." And she replied back, "What's considered good?" I said, "No surgery." And she told me, "I can't tell you anything good." So after examining the x-rays, I didn't get to see the x-rays yet. They told me that I will require surgery and that it should be done immediately due to the fact that I can't move my leg at all. And yeah, so they sent me home that night, and I had to schedule my surgery the following weekday. So this happened on a Saturday. So I went home that night, Saturday night, early Sunday morning, like midnight, past 1. Not quite sure what the time was, but I had all day Sunday to just kind of like think about what had happened. And I'm sure you guys were thinking about the same thing as well, that you didn't know what to expect, you know, especially when you can't walk. And the first thing I thought about was like finances. How am I going to make money, right? How am I going to recover from this? How long does it take for this to recover? I didn't know any of those answers, and I would scour the internet, especially YouTube, for any kind of answers. Anyone that was going through this journey. Also, the reason why I'm making this video to document my journey. And maybe it helps somebody out, and I can also look back on this and see how I have gone through. And there is a lesson in this for all of us to be learned. And just also be grateful that I am capable to be able to make this video, right? Because something else could have happened, you know? You don't know. And to be frank, I did tear up. I'm not sure you guys or gals cried about this at all. But I did tear up because I didn't know what to expect. And I was hoping it was just a bad dream, that I was going to wake up the next day and I could move my leg. But when I woke up that Sunday morning, first thing I thought about was the injured leg. I looked down on it. It was still swollen. It was still wrapped up in the brace that the hospital gave me. I was still injured, and that motherfucker was not moving. So, what could you do? You know, again, I just scoured the internet, just trying to find some answers, see what type of surgery it would take, what the recovery process was. Well, I'm in a better headspace now. To give you a little update, I am past week 1 post-op. This is actually day 10 for me. And I know for a fact, I'm not sure if you want to hear all of this, but when I'm going through this injury, you know, I have a lot of time to kill, especially when you're hurting and just taking pain meds. You can just basically only sit around. So I'm hoping that this video will be somewhat soothing for those who are injured and just want to hear someone's thought process of how it has been for them since the time of the injury, from surgery to post-op. And that way you can see how I progress and kind of compare it to yours. Not saying that I will heal faster or slower than anyone else, but to give you an idea of what to expect in real time. So I'll just go ahead and start right before pre-op. So when I scheduled my surgery, I was hoping that I was getting the surgery quick as possible, right? I heard on some instances 2 weeks out, 2 or 3 weeks out from the time of the injury. I was like, fuck that, because I was reading on the internet, it was saying that like it's a 6 to 12 month recovery process, sometime 18 months. So time is money for me, and I could not let that go by. So I was calling the hospital outpatient department and just trying to schedule the surgery, trying to schedule it, getting on their ass about it, calling early in the morning, leaving voicemails with the nurses, and finally on Tuesday, so I was doing all this on Monday, first thing on Monday, but because the incident happened on Saturday, I had all day Sunday to think about it. Monday I was on it, and didn't get any word or confirmation down on Monday, so led up to Tuesday, and finally towards Tuesday evening, I was getting some traction where the nurse said, like, you're going to be put on the schedule, you just need to wait on the phone call, right? And I was like, wait on the phone call, just tell me what time and date. But lo and behold, on Wednesday morning, they gave me the call, and I had my surgery set for that following Thursday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 5 days out from the incident. Not too bad. It was the same week. So how that process went was, you know, the nurse will call you about the day of the surgery and time. Then the anesthesiologist will call you and prep you up to what to expect, what not to eat, how to clean yourself before the surgery. And then I got one more phone call just to see that, you know, that I adhered to everything and was I ready to go. Obviously, I was saying yes to everything. I'm trying to get this thing done. I never had surgery before. I'm scared of the fact of going under, but hey, this is the card that I was dealt with, and this is what I'm gonna have to go through. So I was ready to go about it. I was nervous the whole entire time, anxious, because I did look up a video on what to expect, and I looked up the 3D version of it, and I looked up the realistic version, where the blood, incision was made, and all that. I'm sure you guys have looked up the same. It's not a pretty sight at all, and I was like, man, they're about to do that to my knee. So, but hey, it happened. So on the day of the surgery, I was already washed up. By that time, I had my legs straight. I was already dealing with achiness. My leg felt like a fucking water, you know, like all that pressure, stiffness, couldn't put no pressure down on it. Ankle was swollen up, just the whole 9 yards. I'm sure you guys and gals are feeling the same way. It's not a comfortable feeling at all. But on the day of the surgery, I already had some crutches from the hospital, so I was able to get up there with my fiance, and a shout out to my fiance and to my family and my friends. You know, on the day of the incident, leading up to the surgery, and even till now, I had so much love and support from everyone that it really made me feel special and made me realize that this is just another speed bump. It's not the end, even though it feels like it. I know you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. It feels like this is it. This is the end. This is where nothing happens afterwards. But it really depends on how you look at it, your perspective, and how you go about it from here on out. Because again, for me, I'm treating this as a speed bump. Yes, I did tear up during the incident, during the day of the surgery, before the day of the surgery. There's just moments in time where I had no answers, right? But, you know, reach out to those that you think you have support from, and just, you know, see if you can gain the strength from them as well. Because if you're just stuck in your head the whole entire time, I'm telling you, like, it's not the way to handle this, right? You don't have to handle this alone, and because you can't, right? I literally need a doctor to do surgery. I can't do this alone. So what good does it do to me if I'm just not want to be a burden to anyone, don't want to bother anyone, don't want to talk about it to anyone? Like you can't do that. So you need help, you need support, and if someone's lending that helping hand to you, just reach out, because it helped me out a lot. So shout out to those that helped me out from the beginning all the way to now. But going back to the day of the surgery, so I crushed my way up there. I was in the bed, the hospital bed. My fiance, she couldn't come back there with me, so I was there by myself. I had my phone though, and thank God, phones. I'm over here texting every single second back and forth to her, letting her know what's going on, sending her pictures and about my gown. I had to strip down naked, put on the gown, my shower cap. Mind you this, I'm still in pain, right? But I'm a G. I'm just gonna be able to push through it because I know when the surgery happens, that's when the recovery process starts, right? That's what you need to think about in your head. Like, I was so scared of the surgery. I was so scared of them cutting me open, drilling holes, doing whatever they need to do to fix me. Super scared. But I know from then, when the surgery is finished, that's when my recovery time actually starts. So with that in mind, I had to get through this. So the anesthesiologist came in after the nurse. They asked me all these same questions about my information and about the process of the anesthesia that they was going to put into me. I was already hooked up in the IVs. I had those little sticky things for my heart rate, blood pressure and all. And yeah, so time passed by and it was time to begin. And I remember texting my fiance, hey, I'm about to go back. And 30 minutes later, I just woke up. And that's the beauty about anesthesia. Like, I didn't know what happened. All I knew is I was waking up kind of drowsy. I was in a different part of the hospital post-op. And I looked down on my leg. I had a different brace on. I had the immobilizer that you see right here. At first I had just a regular brace, but they gave me this immobilizer. And they banded me up and couldn't see what's going on underneath there. And the surgery was done. Like a blink of an eye, it was done. Didn't feel the thing. Luckily, it seemed like everything went well, according to my nurse. She just gave me a little bit of instructions on to, not take the bandage off, do not shower, don't get it wet, keep the immobilizer on, keep the leg straight, and keep it clean. And I was allowed to do weight bearing as tolerated on the injured leg. So in my head, it's like I can't walk on it if it's bearable, right? So, but yeah, after that, we left the hospital and I was already medicated up to the fullest from all these pain meds, and yeah, just headed my way back home and got into to this couch that you see right here, and we had some trouble. Me and my fiance, we had some trouble getting the pain meds. They sent off the wrong dosage, and you guys have no idea. So the thing about our surgery, right, post-op, the nurse was telling me that you need to get ahead of the pain because during the anesthesia, they gave me whatever they gave me, but the one thing I remember was the nerve blocker in the injured leg, so I wouldn't feel the pain at the time. When I was leaving the hospital, right, I was in pain, but it was very manageable. It was like a 5 out of 10. I was like, man, this is it. Then I got this, right? And because the anesthesiologist told me that the most pain you will feel will be 1 hour post-op, and the nerve blocker was enough to last a few hours after that duration. So in my head, I was like, I got through the worst part. I'm good. So if this is the pain I have to deal with for however long, then I got this, right? Coming home, the doctor sent the wrong dosage for my medication. So when my fiance was going to the pharmacy, she couldn't pick up the dosage at all, the medication at all. So we were calling back and forth to the Asthma Nurse hotline to see if we can get this figured out. A few hours later, we were able to get the pain medication. But by then, I wasn't taking anything. I didn't take any ibuprofen. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was stubborn. I don't like taking medicine like that. I'm half Chinese, half Cambodian, so my Chinese side came out, man, we do everything natural. I'm drinking tea, right? Yeah. That was my thought process. I'm not trying to drink these opioids, get hooked on anything. That's how I was thinking. And at the time, the pain was only 5 to 10, and in my head, the nerve blocker already wore off. But the thing is, the nerve blocker actually lasted 24 hours, right? But the anesthesiologist told me it lasted only like 6 to 8. So in my head, I thought it was already gone. Well, that following night of the day of the surgery, man, that was I thought during the incident was the most pain I felt. Think about that times 2, when the nerve blocker actually wore off and the pain meds that they gave me wasn't strong enough. I was shaking at night for like 6 to 8 hours. My fiance had no idea what to do. I was shaking. I was staying up, couldn't sleep. I mean, the pain that I felt, it literally felt like someone took a pistol, shot my knee again, and start continuously stabbing me with a knife for 6 to 8 hours straight. I mean, that's the most pain I have ever gone through in my life. And I'm glad it's passed now, but boy, I doubled up on whatever pain that they gave me. The recommendation was like to take 1. I took 2 that night. And I finally passed out like 6 to 8 hours afterwards. And that's, man, just be ready. You know, just be ready. If you guys haven't already gone through it, just be ready. But, so yeah, so I see, let's go ahead and fast forward. Like day 2 to day 4 kind of felt the same, right? The stiffness and soreness was there. My knee felt like a whole watermelon. I was icing and elevating as the doctor instructed, trying to stay off of it. Trying my best to get up as much as I can because to get some blood flow